So I made this big sign out of 4 separate pieces printed on a MakerFront. I'll show you how I did it on today's Filament Friday. So Brian Carter, one of my viewers, made several different Filament Friday designs, and this was one of them that I really liked. So I loaded it into Tinkercad and went to work. So once I had it imported into Tinkercad, then I used a block element and I made 4 separate blocks all next to each other and made them into a hole. And this sectioned the big sign, which was like 300 millimeters square, into 4 separate pieces. And then to print it, I would just delete one of the blocks and then group the whole thing together, and it would just leave a corner. And that corner then I could download as a .stl file and print it. And then when I was done, I just undo it and go to the next one. And that's how I did the 4 pieces. So then I loaded them each individually into Simplify 3D, and I went to Edit Process Settings. I used a layer height of 0.2 millimeters, 4 top layers, 4 bottom layers, and a 20% fill. Then I clicked on Prepare to Print, and it told me it would take 2 hours and 13 minutes, 27 meters of plastic. And then what I did, I just stopped it midway and switched from white filament to red filament, and that's how I got the 2 colors. Everything's printed, and it was all done on the MakerFront printer. And I got to tell you, the quality of this printer has been phenomenal. The quality of these prints are as good as what I would get on my Fabrikator Mini, but of course a lot bigger. So I'm really rethinking my whole thoughts on this thing. The video I did analyzing it as far as a kit, it was a tough kit to put together. But I questioned the electronics and some of the construction, and I was wrong. This thing is just reliable as can be. It's been printing great. And they're actually making improvements to the kit based on my video. They've contacted me a couple times. They're looking at some sub-assembly, and also like they got a machine like to clean out the holes. So when you put these rods in, you can just slide them in. You don't have to do all the grinding and stuff that I did. They listened. What more can you ask for from a 3D printing company? They're actually going to improve the kit. So I may end up taking that video down because it won't be accurate. So if you're looking for a solid Prusa i3 style printer, you might want to reconsider my thoughts. I'm eating my words, man, because this is really pretty good. They told me if I don't like it, send it to a makerspace, but I'm keeping it. I'm sorry, makerspaces. It's just printing too good. So I'm keeping it. And this is the result, and I've already acetone 2 of them together. Now this was all ABS. I did get a little warping, but I adjusted it because I had the bed set to PLA settings instead of a ABS where you got to really squish that first layer down. I didn't use a raft. I didn't use a brim, which I probably could have or should have. But once I adjusted things, this last piece I printed had no warping. The second to last had very little. So it came out good. The warping's at the back, so you won't even see it. But I acetone 2 together, and all I did was I took a brush with a little bit of acetone. It's 100% acetone nail polish remover. And all I did is I brushed it on the side like this. Just got it wet, and so it's soft. Did it to both sides, you know, so you do it to both edges, and then I just squished them together and held it for a little bit and let it set. So I'm going to do the rest of it and put this thing together, but it's working really well. So I'll show you how it turns out in a few minutes. So there it is. There's the finished design all glued together. I had a little bit of shifting right here, but I don't think it's noticeable. And this will look good when I put it back over here. It'll be the backdrop. So now if I had a bigger printer, you know, sure, I could print this in one piece. That would be nice. But it worked out okay. You know, it's not perfect. I may try this again, try a few different techniques, but I like it. And the fact that it's ABS, I can put it outside if I want as well. So I don't have to worry about the sun affecting it. So overall, I liked it. And also I wanted to point out, as you see here, I got some other stuff. I got a Wanhao Duplicator i3 version 2 that they sent me. After my bad experience with the monoprice version, they sent me one of the latest to evaluate. I've also got this Tarantula 3D printer. It's a kit, but it looks like it's pretty good. It's got everything kind of organized. Even comes a couple spools of filament, and it's got a printed instruction manual. And if this thing is as easy as it looks, it'll be great, but we'll see. I've also got my Fabrikator Mini version 1.5. I've got the LCD installed now with the SD card, and I've printed from it, and it prints really good. Really as good as my 1.0. And I just need to make a case for the LCD. I'm working on that, but everything I followed my own video, how to do it, downloaded my own file from my website, the same display I have there. Everything worked exactly right. I even had to cut the little clips off because the connectors are backwards on this, just like the 1.0. So everything's identical, the 1.0. Just follow my video if you want to add that to yours. And finally, the Wombat here that I got from Joel Telling at 3D Printing Nerd, it arrived. And unfortunately, during shipment, the X-axis motor mount cracked. So I was able to print on it, but it needs some adjustment. Just the bed is off and stuff. So I need to make some adjustments to get it back into shape. Wasn't nothing Joel did. He packed it really, really well. I don't know how it cracked. But I've already printed a new mount, which I got from Anthony at the Hot End. And Aramis actually sent it to me too. He's the guy who owns the Wombat company. But Anthony at the Hot End sent me it first, and I printed it out on my Fabrikator Mini. So once I get everything set, then I think I'm going to run the test print from Maker's Muse. So we'll all have a hand in it. So anyway, that's what I've got, and I just wanted to talk to you about all this because Filament Friday is what I do. It's my main show. I want to put a lot of time into it. Now I do Tuesday Tech Tips and occasional vlogs. I want to do some more electronics. And deep down, when I started this whole channel, I had no intentions of getting as involved as I am. But it's a lot of fun. And I'd like to do it more. I'd like to go full-time at this point. But if realistically, I'm not going to get there with subscribers, and you got to get to like an AdSense. You got to get to like 500K subscribers before AdSense starts to really pay off. And I could try to take on advertisers, you know, for mattresses and shavers and stuff like that. But I don't want to do that, you know. And then it's such a hassle. You spend all your time shopping for, you know, suppliers and sponsors, when the fact of the matter is, you guys can make it happen. I've seen some Patreon supporters who are getting, like this guy. Look at this guy, $6,600 a month. And all he does, and I don't say all he does, but he tears apart equipment and shows you how it works and gives you his evaluation of it. So there are YouTube channels that are getting supported, 100% supported by Patreon. So my question is, Filament Friday, how much do you like it? And I look at it this way. I even printed this little bank. It's got a sliding bottom on it. Filament Friday, every time you watch one, if you just took 25 cents and put it in the bank, at the end of the month, you'd have at least $1. Sometimes I have 5 Filament Fridays a month because there's 5 Fridays. So what I'm saying is, it worth $1 a month to you? 25 cents. All the other videos are free. The Tuesday Tech Tips, vlogs, all that stuff, all the comments I answer, emails I help you out with. I don't mind doing that. But I'd like to grow this thing financially so I could do this. I could retire from my day job and do this full time, because, you know, I'm working 8-10 hours a day on my day job, family stuff, work around the house. I only squeeze this in when I can, in the evenings and the weekends. I'd love to do it full time and give you guys even more. So consider it 25 cents per Filament Friday on Patreon. You can click on the link right up here. So that's it. If you like this project, give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe and consider $1 a month. And that's it. I'll see you next time on Filament Friday.